My name is Jack Henry, and for a long time I struggled with dating. Then I studied psychology and I created frameworks like the one I'm about to teach to really turn dating into a science. So today's concept is called Friendsmaxing. And while you could be using it to just make platonic friends with guys and girls or whoever you want, the point of this is to maximize the amount of women that you're friends with. So why do we want to maximize women that you're friends with to get dating success with women? The idea is that when a woman knows that you're friends with her friend, she immediately trusts you a lot more than if you were just some stranger. I'm going to illustrate this on the board by using layers. And each layer is basically just an outer ring of your friend group. So layer 1 is everybody you know. Layer 2 is everybody that those people know. Layer 3 is everybody that your friends' friends know, and so on with up to 4. And just to cover all cases, I'm going to start out by illustrating a situation of somebody who knows 0 women. So they just have some male friends. If you don't even have one friend, then that's kind of its own issue. So we're going to start assuming that you at least have like 1 to 2 to 3 friends. You can do this with even one friend. It's just a little bit quicker to explain with 3 friends. And I'm saying that this is how you maximize all this, but there's a whole nother level that you can do on top of all this that I'm going to explain later using this box. And that's where it low-key gets dangerous. All right, so the 3 circles I just drew each represent one of the friends you know. The black ones represent male friends, and I'll draw red to signify the female friends. So imagine you just know 3 dudes. So these are your 3 male friends, maybe like George, Jim, and Arnold. And now they know some people, and you know the people that your close friends know, right? If you don't, then I don't think they're your close friends, or you guys are talking about some crazy stuff instead. But so now I'm gonna update the board for everybody that they all know. All right, so layer 2, your friends of friends, has 3 guys and 1 girl. Something really important with this whole friends maxing thing is to not cash in too early. Like, let's say this first girl, like, you think she's pretty, maybe she's being nice to you and you're not sure if she likes you or not. Don't make the move, because down in layer 4, you're gonna see there's gonna be basically infinite women once you get to the lower layers. So don't ruin your chances with the 1 female in your network. So now we're going to move into layer 3, who these people know. All right, so now we got 5 women in your network. And the next step is to make friends with them so that then you meet their friends. I've full on done this friends maxing stuff twice before. Once for actual friends and once for women. And something I've done that really helps is to literally map out everybody you know and everybody you know they know. But yeah, I think it's very helpful to plot it out. And it's kind of a fun little project to just work on, and it's building your entire social network. But I'm going to go ahead and build layer 4. All right, there we go. Now you got 5 plus 8 more women in your network, making 13 women that you could go and meet their friends. And the only reason I stopped at layer 4 was just because it infinitely exponentially grows. There is just going to be more and more and more people. And as you saw, I didn't even include any black dots. Not because these people don't know any dudes. It's just that you have so many options now of people to pursue. And women tend to know more women than men. All right, so now how do you actually become friends with these people? Because it's a lot easier said than done. And I've done this myself twice, like I said. So to start out, you probably want to maximize the amount of guys you know so that you can pick from them who knows the most girls, or who knows people who knows the most girls. And to do this, you just want to start by, you become friends with this guy anyway. You're already probably going to hear about some of the other things he does. You're going to hear that he has other friends. Just ask about his friends. And probably you're going to meet these guys anyway. If not, when he's talking about these friends, he'd probably be like, oh yeah, you'd like this one. And even if not, then you'd be like, oh shit, I would mess with this guy. Like let's hang out. And if not, then host a little function, tell him to bring all his friends. It's extremely unlikely though that this guy doesn't let you meet his male friends. So you just go through the steps that I just listed, and eventually you'll meet them. It can be a little bit difficult meeting female friends of a guy or a girl, because you can't just be like, oh my God, you should like that girl sounds awesome. Like, let's be friends. The same type of thing you do for the men that does work. Because then it sounds like you're obviously just trying to like be set up with this girl. But you just have to make sure you get invited to little social groups. You want to meet the women in social gatherings, and then introduce yourself to everybody. 1, so that you can friends max or whatever, but 2, just to like show that you're like a sociable guy. You gotta move slowly with all this stuff, because if you act too fast or explicitly, people are gonna be like, oh my God, like this guy doesn't care about us. He's literally just trying to social move. And a lot of people are subconsciously moving around socially in the same sort of way. It's just that you're aware of it and you just got to not be a jerk. So basically, to meet the women, get invited to social events that these women are at. You have to make sure you're providing value if you're going to be invited to a group. Commonly, this is just being like, oh, you're funny, or you make people feel good because you're complimenting them. But so now what's this box over there? It's just been sitting there. And if you watch my last video, you might understand what it is. So my last video, it was about how to go from being ignored by women to having dating success with women. And there's steps in between. And these 3 steps is 1, become socialized, 2, become more attractive, and 3, volume, which just means something like this where you just want to meet a lot of women. And this is a good way to do it. The stages of this go from being ignored to then women are seeing you like more platonically, and then it's them seeing you romantically. So I filled it in 100% with blue to show that 100% of women are comfortable and platonic with this guy who like, this is his profile. And as I showed in my last video, there's usually like a whole bit at the bottom of red, which signifies women who are ignoring the guy. But it's 100% blue because we're only taking into account this whole friendsmaxing thing, which you don't have to worry about being ignored because you're friends of this girl's friend. If you're getting introduced by a friend to another one of her friends and you're being ignored by that friend, I would look into what's wrong with you because people don't usually do that. I'm going to use this to show how you can maximize this even more than it already is, because this is like extremely optimized to the fact where some people might be like, this is manipulation, which I think doing this type of system where you're self-aware of a psychological effect and then doing your best move based off of that psychology, I don't think that's manipulation. I think some people who don't understand psychology might think it is, but it's like they're doing their best move with the knowledge they have. And now that you have this knowledge, it's like you're not doing your best move unless you're doing that, if the outcome this brings is your goal. But so what this little bonus tactic is to change how masculine you're acting depending on the layer. So I have this guy that I've been coaching, and I think he has low testosterone or something because he acts more on the feminine side, and women notice this, but it almost has this good effect. They might think he's gay, or they just are like, okay, this guy isn't gonna be like some flirty guy who's gonna like force me into a situation. So I'm fine being friends with this guy. You notice this with like the gay best friend archetype, where, okay, like, yes, this is a guy, but he's obviously not going to make me uncomfortable by hitting on me, so I'll be friends with him. And there's also guys who fit kind of the gay best friend role, but they're not gay. They're just like low testosterone, like timid, like they probably do like the girl, but they're never going to make a move. I used to fit that role with some friends in high school where it was like, I did find that girl pretty, but like she was so out of my league and I was so timid that both of us knew there was never going to be anything. So she was fine with being friends with me. But the point of all that is if you're not acting masculine, women are more comfortable around you if they don't find you attractive. But the tactic is to act less masculine so that women are more comfortable around you because they don't think you're going to want to flirt with them, which you don't want to flirt with them because you're not going to want to flirt with any of these people. And so using this chart, it's 100% blue, but the blue gets eaten into by green, and blue is platonic and green is romantic interest. And I know that sounded like a lot, but basically, depending on how comfortable women are with you, this bar fills up with blue. And then on top of that is how attractive you are. It can convert the blue to the green. But so to start off, you're going to want to not act attractive. Act very socialized and nice to hang out with. But for your first layer, the first group of girls you're meeting, don't act douchey, don't act all confident. Maybe subdue yourself a little bit. But now in the next phase of this is once you're a layer or two down, then you're going to want to act a little bit more masculine. So yeah, on layer 2 or 3 or 4, it doesn't have to be layer 2 like I put here. You want to act more attractive, more masculine, and it's going to increase the green from here to here. That's the percentage of women that if you met are going to be romantically interested in you. But you still don't want to go for these women. You're just kind of like changing and iterating like who you are and how they see you. And I'll explain why at the end of this. So now by the time you get to the 4th layer, or just like maybe like layer 8, if you're moving more slowly, you're acting very masculine. But this coincides with the time when you know like 100 women, if you're doing it at like layer 8. And so you're acting the most attractive when you know the most women, and these women know that all of these other women are cool with you, And a lot of them, I really bet you, are gonna start being attracted to you. It creates this effect where when women see that other women like you, they kind of like you more because they're like, okay, something's attractive about this guy. What is it? I don't even know what it is, but like clearly something's there, so I'm gonna start trying to pursue him too. And this is a really powerful effect. And I used to low-key use it too much, so I don't think you should abuse this. There's one key thing here that you have to keep in mind, and it's that you can't just go for a bunch of women. It's attractive to girls when they see lots of girls like you. As soon as you start having sex with these girls, it just shuts it off for all the other girls. It's just an evolutionary thing. But so yeah, have many women be into you. Don't go for any of those women, and it's gonna increase the attraction of everybody. And there is this effect where a girl actually does like you more if you haven't picked her than when you do pick her. But that doesn't really matter because your goal isn't maximum attraction. Your goal is like getting the girl you want. And so yeah, ignore that last part. But it is also like interesting to know. But yeah, that's the Friendsmaxing framework. If you like this type of thing where I take dating frameworks and maximize the hell out of it and turn it into a step-by-step science, then subscribe because I have more of this coming. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.